staying tuned to 92.0 Info. I am Kaladakoru Batubo. My pleasure. It's good. It's good. You know, every day that I get into the studio and I remember that you're on the other side, I'm always happy. I cannot explain how happy I usually am, because it means that you and I can have a conversation. But it's not just any trivial conversation or a trivial conversation. It's a conversation for development, and it's always my pleasure that you and I can have it and talk and see changes. No matter how little, we see these changes happen in our society, and it's something that I'm really grateful for, and I would always start by saying thank you to you and welcome once again. Today is seemingly a dry news day, I can say. Just like yesterday, not so much happening, very few things. There is so much concentration on the protests coming up, which is made part of our big stories. Apart from the protests, there is, the court matters here in River State. There is the quite a few. There is the statement by Jigawa State Governor about the tough times, the economic hardship that we are going through. That's also one of the big stories today. And apart from that, maybe talking about CBN raising key interest rate and Dangote refinery saga. Or you could even add the recess by National Assembly. I mean, in a time like this, when people are going through a difficult moment, our representatives deem it fit to go on a recess. I mean, it's something that is worthy of talking about. But hey, we would try our best to make do of what we have. And on that note, I welcome you to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I've got a big stories this hour, a topical issue, 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour, another topical issue, and the 6 o'clock hour, you and I will do a recap and look at the future stories. And we call it the open season. At the top of each hour, I will bring you a news bulletin, starting with the business updates, the news update, and then the major news at 6. That being said, I do have my big stories, 3 big stories. If you're on Facebook, you must have seen them already. Remember, the handle is Nigeria Info PH. If you are on YouTube as well, you can watch Nigeria Info PH, and we are very much active on X, Nigeria Info PH. So yeah, I've got the story. My first story has got to do with court proceedings as it relates to the political drama in River State. Now, this time, it has to do with the People's Democratic Party. A couple of days ago, a state high court had stopped using an ex parte order, by the way, stopped the process of holding a congress here in the state. The state high court had asked the PDP to hold the process. I think they gave a reason. I'm trying to remember the reason. And according to the reports that we saw, the case was instituted by the CTC chairperson of MOR, local government area, and other people. And the idea was also to stop the extension of the tenure of the current executives at the state, the local government, and the ward level. However, as funny as this sounds, it's funny to me because this is still a high court that has given an ex parte order today. This time a federal high court has come out to say, hey, the DSS, the police, INEC, please remove every restriction and allow the PDP in River State hold its Congress, and ensure that anybody who failed to follow the due process in showing concern or showing intent for elective positions should not be allowed, to stand in for those elections. So it's interesting. Now, as we have been told on numerous occasions on the show by I think about 2 lawyers or 3 lawyers. An ex parte order expires after 7 days, at most 14 days. Now, if you trace back, I do think the State High Court's interim order expired after 7 days. I don't know if it's 7 days or 14 days that it was given, but if it was 7 days, then just maybe that may have opened the window for the Federal High Court to give its own ex parte order. If that is not the case, then there is confusion, because I've asked this question on the show a couple of times since this problem, or since the political crisis in Rivers State started. And the question is, can a Federal High Court overturn a State High Court's decision on the same matter? And so, even if it's not I don't know how to say it, but it's confusing, right? But that's the situation of things. The PDP can now hold its Congress if we go by the Federal High Court's ex parte order. Remember, the Congress is supposed to happen, in 3 days' time? I wonder if the opposition, should I call them opposition now? Yeah, opposition to this court judgment. I've got enough time. I've got ample time to go. They've got ample time to go. What's it called now? Challenge this ex parte order in an appellate court. I wonder if they've got enough time. But what that means is the PDP convention, or is it Congress, will hold on Friday. Tomorrow is 25th. On Saturday, I beg your pardon. And it means that they may just sideline the governor's people as it relates to the politics in the People's Democratic Party here in Rivers State. And so it's a dicey one, so to say, because if it is done and it is recognized by law, what that means is that there is the likelihood that the governor, like he may have hinted, may leave the party. I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just a gut. It's just a feeling. And I wonder what you are thinking about it, or how you are reacting to it. Because once again, it's just a gut. It's just a feeling. And I'm looking at how things are happening. And remember, this is not an avenue to gloat or to criticize. It's so we can look at the situation. We can look at the problem. We can look at what is happening. And we can give a good explanation. And that's what this is all about. So let's get your thoughts. Let's get your views on this very issue. I've got a commercial break coming up in a jiffy. Yeah, I do have, in about 60 seconds thereabout. I'm going to quickly look at my second big story. So it's a continuation of a conversation we have been having for the last 2 days. And the conversation has got to do with August the 1st protests. Now, a lot of young Nigerians on social media have been calling for protests, like the IGP has described it. They want to mirror what has happened, or what is happening in Kenya. And they are calling for the end to bad governance. They're saying Tinubu must go. And they have some of these hashtags that Bayo Nanuga, who is the special assistant to the president on information and strategy, is not finding funny, and has wrote a couple of articles against. But you see, why it is coming up today again as a big story is because the president, the IGP, a lot of politicians, including your former governor and now FCT minister, have reacted to the protest. Now, Wike says the protest is politically motivated. I mean, we touched on that yesterday, but now that Wike has said it, I wonder what your reactions are. The IGP is saying, no, it might be hijacked. But let's go for a commercial. When we do come back, we'll talk more about that. Just stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Kalada Kurubatibor, and you're welcome. You're welcome. It's time for you and I to have that conversation for development. And I'm just reeling out my big stories. I've done the first one. I was about doing the second one, but just to drag you back a little bit, because I just got a message, a WhatsApp message from a lawyer. You know him, Jamala, Barrister Jamala, and he has made a reference, or he is referencing the conversation about what the Federal High Court has done. So let's take a look at what he has said. He says, good day, Canada. Yes, although an ex parte order 7 days as its life tenure, it has to be nonetheless vacated by a court of competent jurisdiction, notwithstanding the afflution of time. So now the next question would be, can the Federal High Court vacate the ex parte order by the State High Court? I don't know. Maybe Barrister Jamala, you would want to help me respond to that as well. But yeah, back to my second big story. My second big story has got to do with the protest. Yeah, the protest. And I would like you to take a listen to what the president has said through the Minister for Information. Now, he said, see, I'm already working on all the things that you're complaining or clamoring about. Give me time. Very shortly, you will see the evidence of the work that I've put in. The strike or protest is not necessary. It will worsen things. For everything that you've asked for, we are working on it. We're doing it. So don't go on strike. Don't go on strike. Take a listen to the Minister for Information.
The federal government approved grains for and rice for state governments. It was delivered to them expeditiously also. The federal government is not, like I said that the other time, that it is not a necessary first step. Government is going to continue in that direction, supporting them and ensuring that whatever intervention that the federal government has put in place go to those that should benefit. It is very important that that is being put out. Federal government is looking at strategies to ensure that every intervention goes directly to those who benefit from those interventions, not middlemen intervening also along the way. That's one. Two, you heard about the Students' Loans Board that was also launched by the President. The President is very passionate about that, deepening that everyone that should go to school will have the opportunity to go to school. It's no longer a time for all of us to stay back and see our young, able-bodied men and women that have passed examination to go to tertiary institutions that have not been able to do that because their parents are unable to pay for their fees. This is a thing of the past. The government is very, very desirous of ensuring that that happens. You know that the provision that was made to the national, the NEL fund, the Students' Loan Fund, already we have in excess of what is required as at today. And the more that people are requiring that, the more the president will also give. There is also the intervention that the president is working at for those young men and women who have finished school, who are yet to get employed, post-NYSC, for example. There is a scheme that government is perfecting now. That is also going to be pushed very fast so that all those young men and women out there who have finished school, who are graduates of the universities and polytechnics that are unable to get jobs, they will continue to be supported by government until such a time that those jobs are offered to them. The whole idea is that no one is left behind. Everybody is an all-inclusive government, and the president is determined that no one should be left behind in this attempt to march Nigeria towards progress.
All right.
In the past few weeks,
So do you think the president should be given time like we asked yesterday? I mean, after listening to his emissary, the Minister for Information, do you think that, hey, maybe we should shelve the protest like the president is asking for? By the way, today, the presidency, the federal government called for an emergency meeting as it relates to the protest, the upcoming protest. We're yet to see the result of that meeting. The SGF, some other notable members of the federal government or the presidency were part of a reported meeting that was supposed to have happened this morning, or did it happen now? I cannot really tell. But we were informed that there was going to be a meeting this morning as it relates to the protest. Now, some have also argued that, the lawmakers should not have been going on a recess at a time like this when Nigerians are very much hungry and very much angry. Anyways, let's quickly take a listen to what the IG, who by the way may have his tenure extended as a result of the amendments done by the National Assembly.
Some groups of it is important I address an issue of urgent national importance which appears to have gained some momentum, particularly on the social media in the past few weeks. Some groups of people, self-appointed crusaders and influencers, have been strategizing and mobilizing potential protesters to unleash terror in the land under the guise of replicating the recent Kenya protest, the Beko. While the force acknowledges the right to peaceful protest as enshrined in our constitution, we must ensure that these protests do not snowball into violence or disorder. As a nation, we have had more than our fair share of violent protests, which with rather dastardly consequences. The last NSAS protest led to wanton destruction of public assets, including police stations, courts, transport infrastructure, and loss of several lives. Tales of sorrow, tears, and blood followed what was supposedly intended to be a well-intentioned exercise. Rather than to lead to any positive outcome, NSAS merely aggravated crime rates and insecurity in several parts of the country. Indeed, we are yet to fully recover from the huge economic losses and deep-seated psychological and emotional trauma inflicted upon our people by this protest.
All right, you heard it for yourself. You heard the Inspector General of Police, Egbetukun there, saying, yeah, it's your right to protest, but we may not just let you protest, because the last time there was a protest, unscrupulous elements hijacked the process. Well, let's quickly look at my third big story, because time is fast spent. I'm not going to spend so much time in this. Now, the cable had a report yesterday, economic hardship, a trial from God. Nigerians should seek forgiveness, says Jigawa governor. Oh my goodness. So, Umar Namadi, governor of Jigawa, says the planned nationwide protest is not the solution to the country's economic hardship. The governor implored Nigerians to seek divine intervention instead. The protest is reportedly slated for August 1 to August the 15th. Now, on Monday, speaking during a town hall with 27 groups in Duse, Namadi urged the protesters to have a rethink. My goodness. He said, pray, because the problem is from the sins that we've committed. So let us pray for forgiveness. All right, anyways, it's time for me to open the phone line to take your reactions now. What do you think of the big stories that have reeled out for you this wonderful afternoon? What are your thoughts? Federal High Court says it is okay for the PDP to carry on with its Congress. Now, the lawyer just, I don't think he has replied my message, but I would ask him again to reply me as it relates to whether a Federal High Court can vacate a decision or an order of a state high court. All right, interesting. Then the next one has got to do with the protest. I told you there was some emergency meeting today. President says we should shelve the strike. When I say we, I'm talking about the citizens. We should shelve the strike. It is not necessary. Every complaint that has been made is being dealt with. The president is a listening president, and he's listening to ensure that everybody is carried along. Students, artisans, professionals, civil servants, everybody is carried along. And there is also the conversation from Jigawa State, where the governor has said the problem is that we are sinners, and so we should go seek forgiveness from God before we can see solutions to the problems bedeviling the country. Because even if we protest for the next 1 year, it will not solve the problem. All right, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development. How are you reacting to the big story? So you heard the Minister for Information relay the message from the president. You also heard the IGP, the recordings that I played. What are you making of it? I've got Clinton from Bori. Clinton, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, let me start from the protest.
Okay.
Like the protest, every citizen's right. It's our right to protest, to voice out our discontent with the government. But I want people to understand that if the protest is not well structured, the purpose would have been defeated before it even started. Now, what are our demands from the federal government? It should be well structured, written out, because there will be room for a dialogue with the federal government. If they call us now, what I would present to the federal government. So for now, I don't even know who's leading the protest. Again, this protest shouldn't be fixated only on the federal government. We must look at the state government as well, because they're the closest tier of government to us as a people. What have they done since the removal of subsidy? Because when they removed subsidy, allocation increased. What have the state government done differently to ameliorate the problem that we are facing as a people? That's another angle to consider.
Right.
So, as a citizen, I'm very, very considerate. I also want to take part in the protest, but the purpose of that protest must be well defined. Finally, on the issue of PDP have gotten the green light to conduct their congresses. So, if, like we said before, the governor now have lost the structure in the PDP, so it's on his way out. I wish him well in whatever path he's going to now. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. I've got Frank from D-Line. Frank, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Datobo.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Let me react on the comment made by Governor of Jigawa State that Nigeria should apologize rather than protesting.
Ask for forgiveness.
The last time I checked, we have not seen against God where God saying Nigeria should apologize to him. The problem we are passing through today is bad leadership. Let the governor understand this. So for him to come out to tell Nigerians that we should apologize, you look as if God has told him that yes, Nigeria has sinned against it, so if we should go and apologize. As a governor, he's eating well, he's feeding well, but other Nigerians are not feeding well like him. So let them address the major problems that is affecting, causing the problem of hardship by putting the three refineries in order. Reduce the price fuel. The price of fuel is high. So the people that are selling in the market, when they go to market, they will buy it at the right high price, and they will enter transport at the high price. When they come back, they will sell it at the high price.
All right.
So that is the problem.
All right.
To come out to say Nigeria should apologize to God is cutting it wrong.
All
I
right.
pray Mr. President should listen to Nigerian cry. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Frank. I've got JJ from Port Harcourt Township. JJ, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, Canada. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, JJ.
Thank you very much. Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the governors said we should pray for forgiveness?
Jigawa State. Umar Namadi.
Well, if it is about God, when my children are by form, they would have just stayed at home, pray, and God will make him governor. Am I right?
Maybe.
It is statement like this, a statement from the likes of Akpabio and some people within the circle of the president that is bringing about this this protest right now.
Okay.
Canada, you remember how Akpabio addressed even people who are fellow senators, people who they just be the first among equal, and you begin to treat them, this is not nightclub, this is this is not that. How do you do that, for goodness sake? You got the same right that these people got. They just lead us, and you now begin to see them like small children. That's not done now. And the way you respond to issues, serious issues, you just talk like people don't have sense. Like Lenuga was in Bayo saying that it's people, it's just like Nigerians don't have sense. Nigerians are push and start. So even when you're feeling the heat, you can't do anything until you are told to do so. But I must tell you, if we don't learn from history, according to Bob Marley, if you don't know your history, you may not know where you're coming from.
All right, thank you,
Let
JJ.
me tell you,
Yeah.
if the PDP don't know what happened to APC in 2019 that led them to that pragmatic end, then they should try and carry out that Congress.
All right.
Federal High Court don't have more power than the State High Court.
Okay.
They are court of equal jurisdiction apart
All right.
from one or two things that they said that. Not this one.
All right,
So I
JJ,
challenge
I've got to
them
go.
To follow the Federal High Court matter,
All right.
just go ahead and call the Congress, then it will become ground zero.
All right, thank
very
you, JJ. I've got Robin from Echi, and after that, I would like to read some messages from Facebook. Robin, welcome.
Yes.
What's on your mind, please?
Canada, good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes, Bob Marley sang the song. You can fool some people sometimes. You cannot fool all the people all the time.
Okay.
If the governor of Yobe State,
Jigawa State.
Jigawa, yes, Jigawa, yes. If he thinks that Nigerians are fools because it's opportune to be a governor, let him have a think. Nigeria has no business in praying for us to have a better life. Nigeria is the only country to my know in the world that is too religious, and that has brought us to this pain we are going through on all faiths. Is you not aware that Christians go to church every Sunday, even from Monday to Friday? Is not aware that the Muslims go to mosque every Friday? What do they go there to do? Canada, the courts have started to use themselves and allow politicians to use them. Let them continue to do what they are doing.
All right.
The house will crumble on them all. Then on the statement of the IG is an invested party. I watched him on channel yesterday. A protest that has not started. He said he used those kind of words that they will cause it, they will cause that. Acknowledging that protest is in the Nigerian constitution. Let him try, because when he took over, he said he's feeling like a lion. The time is now for him to act like a lion. I wish him luck. Good afternoon, the farmer.
All right, thank you very much, Robin Marja, the farmer there. But let's look at some messages. Asupugi Friday says, protest is sure. Collins Agumagu says, Court okaying PDP Congress is a welcome development. I, Collins Agumagu, will be contesting for PDP Ward Publicity Secretary at Ward 9 in Emoa, local government area of Riverstone. Now, Collins came back and said, I will not join the protest because of the good leadership of President Tinubu. All right. Harry Pepple says, good afternoon, KDB. I wonder why you changed it. Said, the protest should go on because the suffering is unbearable. Tinubu and co protested against Jonathan. Heaven didn't fall down. Konji Dagogo Princefield says, another legal case in court for the PDP. Thank God Ability Atwebu says, economic hardship, a trial from God, says Jigawa State Governor. Mr. Governor, minus God from what our leaders have put us into. God has blessed us with all that we need as a country, but greedy politicians have destroyed what God has given us. Peace Williams, emergency meeting for what exactly? Are we sure that the protest will not be hijacked? Because there are too many announcements. An effective process or protest is supposed to be spontaneous, but in this case, they are announcing it as if it is a strike. If someone wants to catch a thief, does he announce his plan, strategy, and arrival? We are watching Shah. All right, Peace Williams with that theory. But Bobby, the UA says, good afternoon, Kalada. Federal High Court okays PDP Congress in River State. It is a welcome development. If the governor feels it's not okay with it and feels aggrieved, then he should look towards another party, because as it stands now, we all know who the structure belongs to. Oh, okay. I don't know. You can tell me, please. I'd like to know. But DD Chimeze says, I totally disagree with the governor that said we asked for forgiveness, or we should have asked for forgiveness for our leaders are the problem. This one says, okay. Messiah comeback. I can't use those words on radio, so I would have to skip and look at what I do have on the WhatsApp platform. Let's see. I've got oh wow, a couple of messages. Where do I start from now? Okay, so Lady V says it didn't take President Tinubu to declare subsidies gone without putting anything in place. Why would he take 4 years to measure up? The patient dog has died of hunger long ago while waiting patiently for the father's bone. The citizens can no longer be patient for a system that is going worse. Only I can read that part. But you say they shouldn't go on leave, because if it is a bill that will benefit them, they will not go on leave. Lady V, thank you. I had to edit your message. And this one says, what a joke of a governor. So Nigerians are now sinners. I pity for the people in Jigawa State. That's from Damiete Rekosima. Damiete, thank you. I've got this one. It says, whatever the president thinks is doing is grossly insignificant to what we are asking for. Tinubu is deceitfully scratching surfaces in the reverse gear. His aides like Wike or Nanuga or even Akpabio shouldn't be talking because the actions are even the most annoying. They're always rubbing it on the face of the suffering masses in a nothing happen manner. Tell Tinubu that protest is needful now, even more needful than the way he taught us in 2012 when he led a selfish protest. The hunger we have now doesn't understand all these big talks. As for the Jigawa governor, no wonder his state is among the poorest in Nigeria. Okay, Melody from Uniport, thank you. And this one says, Nigerian politicians, they really know how to play on the intelligence and emotions of the Nigerians. Any planned protest these days, the politicians will give reference to end SARS protests. Why can't they give reference to the protests they did against Goodluck Jonathan's government, which the then government allowed to be peaceful? Why can these politicians allow protests to be peaceful rather than sponsoring gangs that will make it violent? We have sinned and we will ask for forgiveness as he as a governor asks for forgiveness. Jigawa State is one of the poorest states in Nigeria with more hungry citizens in that state, and he is yet to set them free. Michael Newmold, I can't read that other one, but thank you very much for that message. This one says, God, after listening to Governor of Jigawa, go backyard, go laugh. Z Tribe from Rumik, but that was funny. That was a good one. But this one says, let's see, big stories. FG enters emergency meeting over next week's protest. Governance in Nigeria has always been reactive, not proactive. It is now they want to meet, but I know what the meeting is going to be all about, how to crush us. And the issue of the economy, he says, see the kinds of leaders we have. Kai, we pray while they prey on us. Newton Ikire, thank you. This one says, good afternoon, Canada. Those asking who the organizers of the protests are and what the purpose is, please tell them it is to youths and the purpose is to take over. Okay, what are you taking over? You say you're hungry, but I mean, are you allowed by law to take over anything? And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. You said bad governance must go. All right, I hear you. But let's read Emi Fiaga's message and go back to the phone lines after that. This one says, on the planned protest, I noticed that the people who are flagging the slogan that President Tinubu must go are mostly from states where their state governments and governors have no working economic policy nor anything on food supply or agriculture. Yet President Tinubu is their problem. To help our doubt, just listen to the names and location when they call on radio and TV stations. Just ask them to mention any working agricultural policy of their state government. They have nothing to say, yet President Tinubu is the reason food is in short supply in their states. Also, despite the numerous palliatives given their state governors, same governors hijacked the palliatives too, yet they are hailing and celebrating their governors. This is why anybody can postulate that the protest is politically motivated. Emi Fiaga with that one. But do you agree? Do you agree? I'd like to hear from you. Do you agree with what Emmy has said. So I'm going back to the phone lines. This one says, National Assembly on recess, wonders shall never end. You're supposed to stand by Mr. President and not run away. Darlington from Okrika. What do you mean by run away? Ike Chukuma on Facebook says, the governor should name a category of people that have committed the sin so we can know where to start to ask for forgiveness. All right, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. I'll take one more message, or rather one more call or two more calls if time allows me, so that you and I can continue to talk for development. But let's just take a peek at another message. Indeed, there is trial from Almighty. Also, there are times where the Creator allows people to suffer because of some bad things they are committing, like killings, bad leadership, etc. You see, one of the reasons why the national anthem was changed, because the labor of our heroes has passed in vain already. The generation of Gen Zs will not allow it. Safia from Port Harcourt. Interesting. But I've got Madam Dota. Madam Dota, welcome. What is on your mind? She's calling from Gukana, of course.
Thank you, Sir Canada. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Madam Dota.
Yes, I listened to you from when my brother from Bori called.
Okay.
Clinton. I keep asking, what is it that the governors and the people in councils are doing? We hear the president is sending trucks of rice we have not seen, but maybe it's coming. What do we hear that is coming from the state to the local government? That will also wait and see that baby is coming. Canada hasn't had anything. You see this money, removal of subsidy. You need to know the money that they are collecting from the national. What are they doing with it? 3 tiers of government. When they tell us that the 3 tiers, they get this money, they don't tell us that it's only the federal government that gets the money. I want to hear from the governor. I want to hear from the council. What is the thing they are doing with the vote? Is it just Thanksgiving for Supreme Court judgment that came how many months ago?
All right.
Let them do something.
Okay.
I agree with this strike because I'm going to strike against my chairman. I'm going to strike against my governor.
All right.
Because I'm not hearing anything coming from them.
What about the president?
Madam,
what about the president? Are you striking against the president?
Sir?
Are you striking against the president? You're going to strike
Not
against...
in Abuja.
Okay.
Those who live in Abuja
Okay.
should do their own there.
All right. Thank
I
you.
will do my own in my village here against my council and my governor.
Interesting. Thank
That's
you.
the way we should do it, so that it will balance.
All right. Thank you, Madam.
It's not only the federal government that we are expecting something from Canada.
All right. I've got to let you go at this
Thank
point.
you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've got Bright from Rumo Dumaya. Bright, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, Canada.
Yeah, welcome, Bright.
I think I want to first of all say congratulations to River State PDP.
Oh, really?
For turning the expertise order for Congress to hold.
Okay.
It's a good thing. The reason is that, now the structure will finally go back to the original person or with the leader who is supposed to control the structure. And if you ask me, maybe at the end of the day, if the Congress is being held, as if the Congress finally wrote for them to choose the leaders or to retain the past leaders, it will be, hello?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
It will be also maybe a disappointed way to the governor. And by then, the simplified people will now test their popularity. Because I believe that the governor will finally move to another party.
Okay.
Who will now want to know his popularity.
All right.
They are all over the place doing a congratulation message.
All right.
So by then, we now know who the governor is in terms of policy.
All right.
Then concerning the protest...
Bright, I'm sorry. Bright,
Hello?
I've got to go. I'm sorry. I do not have enough time. I've got a commercial. But after that will be time for the business update. And after the business update, you and I will talk some more. So please do stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info.